When the plane hits turbulence, everything changes within seconds. At first it feels like a mild shake, something normal, something you can ignore. But then the cabin lights flicker and suddenly go out. Luggage falls from above, people start shouting, and panic spreads like fire. Before you can even understand what's happening, the plane begins to drop. Fast. Too fast. Your ears ring, your heart pounds uncontrollably, and then, impact. A violent crash, tearing metal, and then silence. When you open your eyes, nothing feels real. Your vision is blurry, you try to understand where you are. Around you, broken seats, twisted metal, and scattered debris. The smell of fuel fills the air. Your first instinct is to stand up, to move, to escape. But your body isn't ready. Your head is spinning, your breathing is uneven. This is the most critical moment. This is where most people make their first mistake: panic. Moving too fast while injured can make things worse. You need to stop. Control your breathing. Realize one thing first: you survived. Slowly, you begin to check your body, your arms, your legs, your head. Is there bleeding? Is there a fracture? If you're bleeding heavily, stopping it becomes your first priority. Even a simple piece of cloth can save your life. At this stage, you don't need perfection, you just need to stay alive. Time is not on your side. You look around. Maybe you're not alone, maybe you are. Either way, a decision must be made. Do you stay or do you move? If the plane wreckage is still visible and not completely destroyed, staying is usually the safer choice. Rescue teams search crash sites first, but if there's fire, smoke, or immediate danger, you need to move away carefully. The first few hours are the most valuable for survival. Your body is in shock and losing energy quickly. You must avoid unnecessary movement, but you also can't ignore your basic needs. Water becomes your top priority. If you have a bottle, you must use it carefully. If not, you'll need to search your surroundings. Rainwater, small puddles, even moisture on surfaces can become temporary solutions. As time passes, the silence starts to feel heavier. The sounds of nature begin to blend into something unfamiliar and unsettling. Every noise can feel like a threat. This is where your mind becomes your biggest challenge. Fear pushes you to make bad decisions. You must stay in control. Every action needs to be deliberate. When night approaches, everything becomes harder. Visibility drops, temperature shifts, and the unknown grows. Staying exposed is a mistake. You need shelter, even something simple. Pieces of the plane can protect you from wind and rain. Creating a small protected space gives you both physical and psychological safety. If you can start a fire, it changes everything. It keeps you warm, scares away animals, and most importantly, it can signal rescuers. But fire isn't always possible. In that case, your focus shifts to conserving energy. Rest becomes survival. When the second day begins, the real struggle starts. Hunger begins to show, but it's still not your biggest threat. Water and safety remain your priority. If you decide to move, it must be a smart decision. Walking randomly only gets you more lost. Choosing a direction and leaving signs behind can help. But in most cases, staying where you are is still the better option. As time goes on, your hope is tested. The human mind struggles with uncertainty. The thought begins to grow. What if no one comes? This is the moment where people give up. And giving up is what kills them. Survivors hold on to small things: a sound, a sign, a possibility. Keeping hope alive becomes more important than physical strength. By the third day, your body weakens, but something else happens. You adapt. You move slower, but smarter. Every action becomes more controlled. If you've made it this far, your chances improve. You've passed the most critical phase. And then you hear something. A distant sound. Maybe a helicopter. Maybe voices. That moment is impossible to describe. But reaching that moment depends entirely on the choices you made before. If you stayed visible, if you conserved your energy, if you didn't panic, rescue becomes real. This is not just a story. It's a reminder of how thin the line between life and death really is. The right decisions keep you alive. The wrong ones don't give second chances. The most important thing is this: not panic, but control. Not fear, but thinking. And above all, never giving up.